Welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. My name is Fujica, and I serve this community as a business mentor, and ultimately, I help people achieve receiving their non-medical home care agency licenses. I have a great video with you today. I am receiving the question, what is an NPI number? And so I really want to dedicate a whole video to this topic. Now, for those of you who have followed my channel for a while, you know that I actually have done a video on Medicaid, Medicare, and so I will make sure that that video is included as a card above, and I will make sure it's included as a resource for you in the video description. So today I want to focus on the NPI number specifically. So I want to talk to you about what is the NPI number, what is the purpose of it, and then I want you to stay tuned because I'm going to do a quick screen share to show you how you actually go out and apply for one. So if that is something that you're interested in, and I hope it is, then stay tuned. So I want to start this video out by really defining what is the NPI number. So NPI stands for National Provider Identifier. The NPI number is a unique identification number for a covered professional healthcare provider. Another commonly asked question that I get is the NPI number the same as an EIN number? And the answer to that is no. Your EIN number is your employer identification number. That number is assigned to a company or an organization, so the IRS can track funds related to a group of employees associated with that EIN number. In other words, this is a good way for IRS to track payrolls and monies received specific to anyone using that EIN number. Whereas an NPI number is a number associated with physicians and others who provide medical services. Another common question that I received regarding the NPI number is, do I actually need an NPI number? And the short answer to that is no. If you only have private pay clients on your roster and they're paying you directly, then there's no need for an NPI number. However, if you bill Medicare for your services, that unique number, that NPI number, is a 10-digit identification number that your payers will need to identify you in all HIPAA-related payment transactions. So now that I've covered some of the commonly asked questions, I'm going to go ahead and switch my computer over so I can share with you the application process. Welcome back. You guys should be seeing my desktop. So as you can see here, I am on the NPPES portion of the CMS.gov website. So the NPPES is the National Plan and Provider Enumeration System, and the CMS, of course, is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So both of those I will make sure are included in the video description for your review a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to point that out to you. And as you can see, there's actually a way for you to apply for your NPI number via the web. Okay, so you can apply for this online, and you can either come back here if you have already signed in. That's a good place for you for return users. Like most people watching this video, I'm going to assume that most of you do not have an account. So this is where you would, here is where you would go to create or manage an account with the CMS. Okay. Also, before I transition to the desktop, I did share with you that there was a 45-page document as a resource to help you apply for that NPI. This is where you would get that. I'm still going to include it as a resource for you, but I just wanted to take the time to explain to you where you can get that information. You all know I'm all about knowledge, okay? So, because I don't want to create or log into an existing account, what I got excited to share with you today is there's actually a paper form that you could fill out and submit. And that's what I'm going to walk you through today. So this is the National Provider Identifier NPI Application Update Form CMS-10114. Now, I will make sure that this application is also another resource that you can download from this video, okay? What I like about this is that this form has 1, 2, 2 pages of just instructions on how to fill this form out. So if you're not sure what you should be filling out, if you're not sure what a specific question is asking you, you could just come back here and really reference that information. So I'm going to go ahead and skip past pages 1 and 2 because the actual form itself begins on page 3. Okay, and this is where we're going to go ahead and go through the basic information. So under section 1, basic information, we're going to start with A, which is the reason for submittal of this form. Unless you have done this before, then this is going to be an initial application. So you're just going to go ahead and check that. Okay. Now, in terms of entity type, this is who are you? Who is the person that's actually checking this out? And as you can see here, who is the person that's actually applying for the NPI number? Most of us are going to be organizations, right? We're an organization that renders healthcare, all right? Is the organization a subpart? No. Okay. But if you need to know what that means, you're going to go back up into the actual application piece. Okay. Now we're going to go into section 2, which is just identifying information. Now we're going to skip the first part because if you're not a sole proprietor or an incorporated individual, most of us are corporations, right? So you're going to skip section 2A and go into section 2B. This is where you're going to say what your legal business name is, and then of course what is your EIN that you would have received from the IRS. Okay, so you're going to put your legal business name, your EIN. If you have any other names that you're known as, for example, even 4 will give you types of other names. Some of us operate as DBAs, right? So if there is another name that you're known as, this is where you would put that name and then you would indicate what type of other name that is. So that's all we're looking to do on page 3. So now we're moving on to page 4. And page 4, we're starting with section 3, which is the business address and other information regarding your business. Now, section A is your corresponding mailing address information. And I do want to note, do not report your residential address unless it is also your business mailing address. And most of us are operating our home care from our home. So of course you're going to include that information, your residential address here, because in that case it is also your business mailing address. The other item that I want to point out here is you want to put your corresponding telephone phone number, okay, an extension if needed, and also if you have a fax number. Now, this is another question that I get a lot, which is, do I use my personal cell phone for business? So I will tell you that I do, but I don't recommend it. And I'm actually in the process of getting another line for my business. And the reason why I say that is just, I would say, you can expect to receive so many phone calls from your employees, from vendors, other people that you do business with. There has got to be a way that you draw the line. Sometimes it becomes very overwhelming to have everyone calling in to one line. And so if I would do it all over, and I'm trust me, I'm righting my wrong, I would have my personal line and then I would have a business line. There are other options. I know sometimes people have phone services. If you do have a virtual office, sometimes that comes with a phone number. So short of you getting another cell phone, and that's fine if you do, there are other options to get that number. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there since we were in that place. The other piece of this is the business practice location information. So again, if it's also your business practice location in terms of your residential address, you would still include that here. Okay. Again, that phone number and then that fax number. Typically, C would not pertain to us because we shouldn't have any Medicaid numbers, okay, or non-Medicare, anything like that. So in this case, you would not need to fill this section out. Now, I will say this is also a place where if you do have identification numbers that you wish to remove, you would go ahead and put that number here, put the state or territory where that was issued, and then you would select the delete button, okay? The last part of this is section D, which is the provider taxonomy code. These are the different code lists based on your business. Now, I will tell you, once you click into this actual website here, that page is actually moved. And so you're actually going to click on that again, and then you can go into what the actual code set is. So I took the liberty of looking up that code for you. Most of us would be considered in-home supportive care agencies. And so as you can see, this is in-home supportive care. This is that number. I'm actually going to include it here for your reference, just in case if you ever need to come back to this video, you'll have that number on file. So I'm really just trying to be a partner with you in terms of actually filling out this form. So I'm trying to do the legwork for you, okay? But that concludes all of page 4. We're gonna go ahead and move on to page 5. Okay, so as you guys see, we are on page 5. We are going to go ahead and skip portion A. We're actually going to just pay attention to portion B, which is the authorized official signature for the organization. Okay, so this was required for type 2 organizations only, and this is why we skipped A, because we're not filing as an individual. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of explain that. So of course you're going to go ahead and put in your signature. You're going to put the date that you're filling this out, first name, middle name, last. If there's a Mr., Mrs. that you want to put here in terms of the prefix, if there is an applicable suffix, if there are any credentials, so if you're a medical doctor, things of that nature. What is your title or position with the company? What is your telephone number, and then the extension if it applies. So number 5, you want to be specific to who is a contact person for your organization. So as you can see here, it says, hey, provide the name and telephone number of an individual who can be reached to answer any questions regarding the information you furnish in this application. Okay, so you want to put that person's prefix, first and last name, suffix if applicable, credential if applicable, title, position, the email address, telephone number, and then again the extension if it applies. Now, when you are done, I always recommend, now for me, I'm more of a person, I like to feel things, I like to touch things. I would suggest printing this out, or you can leave it on the screen if that's fine, if you're okay with that. And I would just go over the questions to ensure that everything is complete. You definitely don't want to turn in an incomplete application. You don't want to put any conflicting information because, again, you don't want any delays when processing, right? So I always just like to print it out so I can make sure that I've gone through everything and I was complete in my answers, okay? Now, you can submit this in one or two ways. You can either go ahead and submit it online. Now, if you guys, this first address is right where we started this video. Okay, so this is for you to submit it online. Now, I know there's going to be a time frame associated, right? So I read somewhere, and I can't remember where now, it should take about 15 days so for you to have a response. So if you haven't heard anything, then you should be able to reach out and then follow up as to the status of your application. Now, another way for you to apply is in writing. So you would need to make sure that the completed signed application is sent to this address that you see here. Now, you know, if anytime you mail something, you're going to add 7 to 10 days potentially to allow for mailing time unless you overnight it. And of course, if you overnight it, you have those expenses associated with it. So my suggestion would be to go online, as we started on, online. And it, again, you click on that, it takes you right back to where you and I started this video. So that's the best way, in my opinion, because you always want that automated response, kind of that automatic trail of your actions and any responses or requests received thereof. So I do hope this was a helpful video for you. Please indicate in the notes if this was helpful. I think anytime you can walk somebody through an application, that definitely serves as an assist in order to help you all get the certifications that you're asking me about. So really excited that I was able to put this together for you. Okay guys, so welcome back. I do hope that was definitely a value add for you. I have actually found, and hopefully I shared that with you in the video, I did find a resource that is going to be available for you. It's like a 45-page document on applying for the NPI number. I will make sure that's included as a resource in the description below. So make sure you check out that document. I also want to just remind you that I do have my staffing webinar on the last Saturday of September, which is September 30th. So the link is in the video description. Please make sure you sign up for that. And guys, we are still on our road to 10,000 subscribers. So make sure that you not only like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so that you're notified for any time I drop a new video. I want you to share this content for those who are looking for it. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay blessed. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a passion for caring for others and you're trying to figure out how to turn that passion into a business? Well, I have the course just for you. My name is Fujica and I am just launching Fujica's Home Care Academy. I want you to join me in Sacramento this upcoming October, where I teach you how to actually get your license in the state of California, as well as operating your non-medical home care agency as a profitable business. Go ahead and look out for the link in the video description below. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope to see you soon.